I watched Love at First Sight. So Love at First Sight has Hayley. I can't remember her surname. Um, the actress from White Lotus, and she's actually in the Wings video for the Jonas Brothers, Jason. And it also has the guy from Voyeurs, and he was in EastEnders. So you had these two characters, right? So that
Another Netflix film.
another Netflix movie,
Another
yeah,
Netflix film, yeah.
another Netflix movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically about these two characters. She is American, he's English. They're both flying to London for different reasons. They end up meeting at the airport, connecting, and this film leans very heavily in the statistics of meeting fate and meeting love at first sight and so on. There are parts that I have issues with this. They lean very heavily on the statistics in it. There's a character in it who...
Sorry, what do you mean by the statistics of it?
Because it keeps going on there's a narration. There's a character in it who is like this magical character who turns up. She's the flight attendant. She's the bus driver. She's the taxi driver. It's the same character. So it's sort of trying to give out a sort of magical vibe in the film.
Fairy godmother kind of thing?
Yeah, basically fairy godmother sort of. You might see her in the trailer when it comes up. But anyway, she keeps doing this narration, which I think is trying to be sweet, but it does come across a bit annoying after a while, where it keeps going statistically, blah blah blah. 50% of marriages end in divorce, and all like this. Yeah. But in this 1.5% chance, he was going to be one of the. He was going to have this chance of walking away from his one true love. All of that I thought was nice enough, but it was started to become a bit annoying. But I do think it was a very sweet movie. I thought the two leads in it were they had chemistry, and it was Is this where you don't listen to my review?
They had really good chemistry.
Okay. No, I think they had really good chemistry. I think it was very sweet. This was based on a recommendation from someone. So I went into it thinking it was just going to be sort of like a silly rom-com. But there was a moment in it, which I mentioned to you earlier in the podcast when we were talking about something about, there's a scene in it that hit me quite hard where, spoiler, can I say spoiler at this point?
Of course can.
Spoiler, the reason he's going back to London is because his mum is dying. She has terminal cancer. And rather than having a memorial service, she's having a living memorial service where she said one of the things is the one thing she doesn't want to one thing she hates is when people are saying nice things behind her back. And before she dies, she wants to hear them. And there's a really emotional scene. You know Dexter Fletcher? Mm-hmm. He plays the guy's dad, and I can't remember the lady. It's a very famous actress who's been in a lot of British sitcoms. Plays the mother, and
Absolutely Fabulous.
No. She was in Smack the Pony. She was in that TV show. Very good actress, and the scene in it really hit me quite hard. I think it was beautifully acted, and I think it was a really sort of emotional. It didn't feel cheesy for the film, and it really hit me because I've gone through the process of both my parents have had cancer, and it's quite a horrible process to go through, and I don't want to talk about it too much because it's quite hard to talk about. But and touch wood, on the other side of it, but. It sort of brought back a lot of those emotions, the way that it was acted and written, and I teared up. I found it quite a hard part to watch, and it wasn't a film of seeing, they didn't go into it so much that the person's like really ill looking and stuff, but it was just the dialogue between the main character and his mother that sort of hit me in the heart, and it made me I don't know, it's just a hard watch. So, and it wasn't meant to, it's not, I don't think it was meant to try and, it's not a hard watch in terms of like a realistic way, but I think the way the dialogue and the emotions that the two characters go through really resonated with me. And it really drilled back a motto for me, or a way that I live by now, is that when you are close to, you have that fear of losing the people you love the most in life, it gives you that sense of attitude, the attitude that life is very short and you don't live regrets. And I think whatever you end up doing in life, you have to remember that I'm not saying go and do something stupid or do something silly, but if you want to do something in life, maybe like even as us doing this podcast, we enjoy it, and it's late on a Sunday night and I'll probably be tired tomorrow, but I enjoy doing this, and I enjoy spending the time with you. And I think in life, you have to remember life is very short. You only have, sorry if I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but you live, there's something I read or heard that if you're lucky, you get 75 years on average to live.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way you think about that, 75 summers and 75 winters. And when you think about it that way, it's not that many. You think about it, we're already halfway through our summers and our winters, and it really made me drill down to the fact that you have to make the most of that. And yeah, life is very short. Don't live with regrets, and just try and live life to the fullest. So this film had much more of an impact on me than I actually thought. And I'm not talking about the romance side. The romance side was very sweet. I think the film tried to be very much like a 90s 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Love Actually style movie. But that scene, the sort of side story with the mother being ill, really resonated for me. So it was like a 3-star romantic comedy. No, it's not really even a comedy. It's just a romantic, sweet movie. But definitely the scene with the son and the mother really resonated with me, because I've sort of, not to that extent, but had that experience, and having your parents not be well is a hard experience to go through.
I do ask myself, like, I don't know if it's because I'm getting in my 30s now, I do ask myself, like, if I had to get to a point where I'd have a shorter lifespan, or something had to happen to me,
yeah,
like, would I be satisfied with, I don't know, with what's gone on in my life? And that's a very hard question, because I think it's a spectrum, right? It's like a spectrum of risk reward, right?
Yeah.
And I think I've always kind of veered on the safer side, but then I don't know, since like the last 5 years, I've really said, like, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Whilst keeping my job and all that kind of stuff. I really enjoy the teaching and stuff. So that
I'm not saying
podcast is a great example. No, but no, it's great. I just really was thinking about myself, and it's like, I think that's the best way to live life, is to understand that there's risk, and to be, I don't know, to be slightly more kind of, forward thinking and long term thinking, but also to understand that we just, even within what we do, is like just to enjoy and to live and to be good people and to enjoy that. I think I just see every day the people that I interact with on a day-to-day basis, not bad people by definition, but we're all living to like kind of get ahead of each other. Like, we live in a social media world where we're talking about earlier. This is kind of like great bookend, right? Because we started the podcast off talking about how the vindictiveness of society wants to put people in the ground. Is not in a more figurative sense of like cancelling or taking people's careers away from them. I do wonder if we were better off in like a more simpler society, and that's why I like long form podcasts like this. I think it takes away the whole point of us, having to keep it short form, having to try and be clickbaity, newsy kind of thing. I think it's ironic when I say doing the TikTok stuff, but I think the way I'd love us to gain an audience is for us to just listen to us talk about things like this, and just be our real selves, and just be mates talking about our day. And talking about toy boxes. So
Well,
no,
it is
thanks,
a
mate.
pop culture podcast, so it's toys are pop culture.
Anything goes.
But no,
Anything goes.
I
What would you give it out of 5?
this film.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the romance side and everything. Do you know what? It's a really sweet movie. I think it's a really sweet movie. I think if you want a film to pick you up and have, you know, a nice easy watch, and if you're having a tough day, you come home, you're a bit disillusioned.
Stick a postle on.
And you want something to sort of pick you up and give you that bit of hope that it's silly. It's a silly movie, like silly but sweet. Stick this on. I'd give it 3, but there is a lot of heart in this movie, and I definitely think it surprised me. So to the person
I think it has a lot of heart. I think I need a counter for how many times you've said that this film
I have
has
to
a lot
say
of heart.
to the person that recommended it, thank you for the recommendation. It was definitely a surprising movie. So